Keep an eye out is at Nick turn usually runs yellow fuel warning light on, so he usually runs just on the limit for the amount of fuel that he can take into the race. Whether or not he's going to try that with the fact that he's on the softs, because he really needs to be pulling away with the fact that he's on them, he has to fully utilize that extra grip, especially on this start now. As the lights are on, we are about to get underway with the Baku Grand Prix here in the Rwagnation League, and immediately we're seeing Nixon get away to beautiful start. Jorn's already alongside Forseti. Forseti's getting swamped here. Jorn is trying to go around the outside. He has to back up. Big contact further downfield. That's Copy. He's lost control of the car. He's now dead last. No further incidents have been made on that turn one. We are seeing more cars going around and around each other. Big contact there. Hazard has been caught up by Rainbow. Rainbow's just trying to get through this. There's nothing more that can happen here. Copy has managed to regain those 2 places. So 15th is where Copy ends up being after the start of the first lap. Martin G and Beaker, they are also squabbling throughout as we come into turn 3. This is usual lap 1 sort of territory here when it comes to these kind of lobbies, and we are still seeing Martin G and Beaker going side by side now through 5 and 6, and it's going to be Beaker against them wide. Oh, I think he kept himself just out of the wall there, but there might be some damage on that Ferrari.
Yes, which is very unfortunate, but look at what Yeltek's just done. Yeltek has had a massive dent and was able to gain not 1 but 2 positions from that, helping him just a little bit more. Is he going to get the outside this time? Oh, they touch again. Oh. But we've got Zerd and Jorn into this battle as well. This is getting very tasty in the midfield.
There's 2 battles going on as well, because there's this battle going on here for P2, and there's also a battle further downfield for the final points position between Just Chillin, Beaker and Yoltek. They are scrapping really hard all the way through. You can see Yoltek is actually the head of these 3. Beaker's managed to make his work done on Just Chillin. Zerd is really scrapping there with Buemos as well.
Can make any jumps and say a see you later.
Oh, Zerd!
Oh, that was huge contact from Buemos and Zerd. And oh, Martin G almost into that, but he managed to avoid that very well. Look, 213 miles an hour, and he is going to go past his turn 1. Almost a bit of touching again from Yeltek and Mizzo, but they managed to keep it on the track.
To be able to use the DRS to close back up onto Buemos, not necessarily overtake him because he's just way too far back for that. Someone who isn't too far back is this man here, Yonti, breathing down the back of Jorn now. Jorn is going to be a sitting duck as Yonti's carrying so much pace down the home straight. Coming up into turn 1, he's definitely going to be on the racing line, feeling very comfortable. Whereas Jorn now will have... I think he might have actually missed out on DRS. He has.
Right behind. Bremels is right behind as well. Jorn's going to lose another position, but Bremels almost hit the wall. Bremels is going to take the inside, and surely Bremels is going to get P2 from Jorn. Maybe not. Jorn defends that nicely. Again, almost off the track. Bremels getting a better exit going into turn 3, but Jorn is going to have DRS going into that entry. So it's going to be insanely close. Zerd is in the pit. He's going onto the hard tyres, and then one else is pitted.
Oh!
Yeah, Jorn, sorry, he's going to get the inside line again. And he's done it this time. He still holds on to P2. My oh my, that was close. He's starting to struggle. He was in P2 of the race, and now he's pretty much dead last, which is a bit of a shame. And we'll have to wait and see as Martin G's out. So,
yeah.
What happened there?
Well,
I'm going to see. I think Bremels is closing up to Gooby more than Mizzo is catching up to Bremels as well. Jorn and Browning's going into the pits as well. But let's watch Bremels and Gooby. It's going to be almost 3 wide going into turn 1. This is going to be mighty. Who's going to gain advantage this time? It's going to be Mizzo, who gets a double overtake from both of them. Both Bremels, Gooby.
Oh, Zerd.
Then, and he's hit the pit. Whoa, okay.
Buemos is coming. Buemos is past him. Mizzo now is not able to do anything about the fact that Buemos has just gone straight on past him. Actually, Mizzo may have actually broke a little bit too late there. No, he kept it together actually fine.
But I didn't.
Yeah,
thank you for that.
It is a tough one to remember. It is so natural to just say Force India after all the years, obviously, that they've been in the sport. A couple of years they've been in the sport. Copy though right here on the back of just Yontek, sorry, again, but Yontek makes a big mistake there. Actually, this is going to bring Copy into the mix now. As in turn 1, you can see Copy going through the inside. Now in turn 2, he's got the inside. Yontek is just going to have to let him go, but he does have DRS to help him try and recover this position. Yoltik does seem to be running a lot less wings than the other drivers on the track, which is why he's able to do what he's doing right now, which is going through the inside in towards turn 3. It's going to be side by side as they come through, and that's going to be nicely done there. Copy's still there, ready for the inside line in towards turn 4, and I think he's going to get it back, but it's not stopping anytime soon, as again, into turn 5, Yoltik will have the inside line and waiting for them to come around the corner, and there he is. So Yoltik still holds on to P8 the podium. Jorn realistically needs to think about this and work out, do I want to let him pass anyway? He's gone defensive on the inside, but realistically it's nothing more than just giving him that position, letting Wemmels go. Jorn is right on the back of him now as we come up towards turn 2. It needs to be a good exit from Jorn if he's going to try and take the position back from him on this lap. Otherwise he's going to have to wait for the home straight. Buemos on the exit of Castle damaged his right end plate, so there is no end plate on the right side for Buemos. I want to just get that confirmed. Yeah, I've just seen it. There is no end plate on the right side for Buemos, which now means Jorn is right here on the back. We need to come back to that. Yeah, Just Chillin' is out of this race, but look at Jorn now. This is it. Yeah, Nixon will take the race win. We know this, and it looks like Yontik will take P2, but Jorn is in a position here where he has to commit. He has to give everything here in order to get back onto Buemos. DRS range is there. The wing is going to be open, but I think it might be too little too late. As we come up to the final stretch, it's going to be close now, as Jorn is pushing as hard as he can, but it will be Buemos who crosses the line in P3. Jorn takes a very close P4, but there's still battle going on as Zerd is coming up against Mizzo now as they come through on the home straight, and Zerd will gain that position on Mizzo. P5 is going to go to Zerd. Mizzo taking 6th place with Copy taking 7th. Gooby will eventually come across the line in 8th, and Yoltik does get himself back into the points position, but P9 is where he's going to sit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for another race here in the Rwagnation League. We are in Spain this week, and it's a very, very nice sunny Spain indeed. I'm Ben Raggy McConnell, and joining me on the caster's desk is the legendary Jamie M. Caster Elder. How are you doing?
I'm not too shabby, man. Yourself?
I'm not too shabby indeed. It's been an exciting season so far. Zerd is currently really dominating at the minute with 76 points on the top stop. Mizzo is P2 though with 55. Top step I meant to say, but words just left me. Alright, leave me alone. It's pretty tight-knit everywhere else around the track. Yoltik is the best of the rest there in 11th place, but if you look at when it comes to constructors, Mercedes is currently leading it up with 94 points, Williams there in 87 points, and McLaren there in 3rd with 57 points. And that can all change in just one race. You know, if you get some people on the podium step, one or two of them, it can easily give you more points than the other teams, and that is all it really is going to come down to. There's the track. As you can see, we're going to have 2 DRS zones, one in the middle of the track and then one on the very long home straight. Easiest overtaking opportunity is probably going to be on the final corner down into the run up to turn 1, where we are now underway with the qualifying. And immediately, Amkasa, I'm going to ask you straight off the bat, as always, what's your top 3 prediction?
I fucking hate your bus. It gets me every time.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, last time when I was editor and he started at the front, finished at the front. He is here again. Does he have the pace to outdo Zerd or Martin G? That's going to be the interesting one. I've just seen Brownie in another league race. He looks terrific, in top form, as you ever might see with Brownie.
And what track was that?
It was here. He has literally just raced here, so he's fresh. From
prepared.
The wall.
Why, he put it in the wall?
No, he stayed out of the wall just.
Oh, okay.
He had a terrible race.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, wet qualifying, dry race. So,
and then he had, now he's here to go and do it all again. I mean, the qualifying's dry, at least for now, so he's got that going for him, but is that going to be a benefit to him? Who knows? Brownie is a very hit and miss kind of driver, isn't he, really?
Yeah, I don't suspect we'll see him on the podium at all during this. So I'm going with a traditional approach. Mercedes lock
Ooh.
out the front row.
Okay.
So Zerd from Martin G with Eniturn just behind.
And Nick turn. Okay, okay. Well,
Yeah, good form.
I'm actually going to go very off kilter today.
Oh.
Okay, I'm going to be very, very out of there and say this is going to be. I think this is actually going to be a track that Mercedes don't particularly do well in. I think Martin G might do well. Oh, Hazard! What's happened there? It looked like there was contact between Hazard and someone else on the track. I didn't see who it was.
Didn't see. I was on board with Yawn. You said the
It was-
fastest time.
I am amazed. I don't know what
Hazard's
happened.
off track.
That's what I'm saying.
What's he doing over there?
So it looked like, I mean, I wasn't really looking at him that much because he was going so slowly. I just happened to have left him on there whilst I was looking at the drivers. And as I was looking at the drivers, I could just see Hazard's car just disappear off towards the wall, and he's lost front left wing. So he's lucky to still be in the race, if I'm being truthfully honest, because the impact was pretty hard. But yeah, he is definitely going to need to. He's definitely going to need to do something different, I guess. So yeah, just going back to what I was saying, Zerd's fastest lap time with 1:19.026. I actually think that Zerd is going to struggle here today in particular. I may be wrong, and I probably am going to end up eating my own words. And I hope for his sake that I am wrong, but the sort of times I've been seeing from the other drivers, Jon is very fast here. He's actually 35th fastest in the world in time trial on this track. As he sent me a screenshot earlier today, so that's a very sort of suggestive situation. He might not be the fastest on the hard. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But in qualifying, it does. As you've seen in previous Rwagnation leagues when he had the likes of default, he was always very quick in the qualifying, but not when it came to race.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I am going to go Mine G. Oh, no, actually. Can I come back to you on this? Can I come back to you on this?
No, you've got to decide before Fastessi sets a time.
Which is too late. He's already set a time.
Oh, I thought it was going to be quicker than that.
If everyone goes on the mediums, I'm going to go...
I think we should have a prediction for the medium tyres.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless someone hard gets into the top lot, which you don't expect to see. We should just ignore straight out that people are going for the softer compound, because it kind of messes up our predictions all the time.
Yeah, and I think if we took them out of that, I think we'd pretty much always get it right.
Wow.
So I'm actually going to go very off here. I'm going to go Nick turn P1. I'm going to go Jon P2. And then I'm going to go Martin G P3.
Ooh. Interesting. We'll see how that pans out for you. Few people are putting laps. Zerd's on his second flying lap at the moment.
Yoltek's actually starting hot lap now. Do you want to do an onboard?
There he is. Well, okay. Well, that's a good place to start on the home straight. Sort of downhill down towards turn 1, and you'll see how much track people use there. Look at that. Look how far out to the left he gets. He throws it into turn 1, which sort of chicanes into 2. Then this long turn 3. Look how that Haas facing the wrong direction, trying not to clip his rear end as they do in the real F1 last season. Cut out to turn 4. Tight entry, but opens up. It's an overtaken opportunity. But you have to be a bit brave to go for it, because it's not the usual place that you go for it. You hope they make a mistake at turn 3. This is turn 5, tight hairpin. Falls away from you as you go downhill, down towards turn 6, little kink. Then we come into 3 corners that you'll see cars struggling. 7 and 8. If they get this one wrong, they can go into the wall. If they get the next one wrong, turn 9, they can go into the wall. It's so easy to make mistakes through there. Yelsek nails those perfectly. Coming out down towards turn 10, end of the first DRS. Tight, slow hairpin. Then turn 11. Careful, there's a little bump here. Don't hit that at the wrong angle, because that will send you off. There's 2 cars have DNF'd. I wonder if they came together. Through turn 12, the long hairpin. Downhill, down through 13, into the chicane. Oh, a lot of things happening that we're missing here. Through 14 and 15, the long right-hander at turn 16. Oh! And there's lots of cars in the middle of the track. What's happened there?
I do not know. I was so focused on the onboard. I could just see lots of penalties being issued out left, right, and centre. So we have lost Rainbow, we have lost Meister, and we did see, I think it was Gooby who had a time penalty for colliding with, it looked like it was Rainbow on the track. That...
Gooby just crossed the start-finish line.
Well, we do have live stewarding, so we might be able to get an answer as to exactly what that was soon enough, as the Jeffs will be reporting that, I imagine.
I suspect Gooby hit Rainbow. Rainbow had already DNF'd. He was ghosting. What I hope doesn't happen is that Gooby gets this overturned and then we have to rehost the lobby because that just takes more time. I saw that earlier today. A car ran out of fuel and tried to go uphill. It couldn't go uphill.
It couldn't go up the hill?
It couldn't go up the hill.
That's
That was
interesting.
his excuse anyway. He was
Okay.
hit by his teammates.
That's quite tragic.
Yeah.
Well, our driver that we've put in the top 3, each of us in different places, is at Nickturn. He's about to start a hot lap now, currently going around the final corner.
It's just a teammate. No,
Yeah,
really.
I'm just
I was
looking.
wondering if Copy was nearby to give him a tow down the straight, but Copy's making mistakes at turn 3 instead.
Yeah. Copy's someone I want to sing and dance about, but I just can't. I'm not seeing anything to really shout about. He's a good driver, you know, you can't take that away from him, but Nickton and Copy's relationship kind of reminds me of Hamilton and Bottas. Hamilton takes all the glory, really does everything and smashes everything out there, and Bottas is a really good wingman, and it's the same situation here. And Nickton really does have the pace and flies away with it, and Copy's a very good wingman for it, Nickton. That's all it is.
If he's going to watch this back, don't take this to the wrong way, Copy, but he's a poor man's Hazard. By that I mean he doesn't do anything spectacular. He doesn't seem to get involved in much. He just does what he needs to do and finishes the race. But is slower than Hazard. Hazard is that driver that will just go round and round and round, doesn't do anything spectacular, finishes the race and gains 5 positions through penalty. Copy's quite similar. He's just a bit slow and might get a penalty or 2. So if he can up his game, then he could be great. He could be the same level as Hazard. But every league that he's in, he's also in the same league as Editor, and as such, is their teammates. They're always teammates. I think they're both from the Czech Republic, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And as such, they're always helping each other out, and it has a detrimental effect in qualifying because you want to be doing your lap race at the very end. And he's getting a tow or giving a tow. One of them is getting less run time, and as such, it doesn't do them that great. It's not on this track, but you probably saw it last week. I wasn't there last week, but I'm going to assume there was some towing going on down that home straight.
I think there was, as there usually is. It's always a good bet to say, yeah, absolutely, but I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
We
In the
saw
minute,
them in another race, didn't we? Was that the one on Tuesday where they were doing it down the home straight?
yeah, yep, that was it.
So it makes sense that they do it there. It looks like it's actually backed out of his lap. Copy.
Yeah. So let's have a look further up the field then, because you got the likes of Yonti, who's got a really solid really solid position in P2. Yonti's 118.871. Martin G's actually only just behind him with an 18.886, and staying true to how he's been in 2019. Buemels is on the top step with a 118.840. Buemels has been absolutely someone who's surprised me so much this season. I don't know where the pace came from. He's absolutely flying, and it's calling for people. It's literally causing people to call out pad hacks.
He's definitely had his porridge, that's for sure. It was in Russia a month or so ago that he was going up against former Rwagnation boy Crow, wasn't he? And Crow couldn't work out how he was so quick.
It was Germany, but yeah, I remember it well. It was
Germany.
crazy, yeah.
I've seen a lot of people say that pads are just as good as wheels in this game at the moment. Obviously, it comes down to the driver because I'm a pad driver and I'm terrible. So that doesn't really say much, does it? I'm terrible at everything. But he's just absolutely nails it, and the gap he's only a small one of Yonti. They're both on hard tyres. Yeltek, that's not good. Oh, was that him there?
I didn't see it. Yeltek is out though. I mean, ideally, the sort of scenario that you want to be in Yeltek's situation is just losing a place, right? And just taking P11 and being able to really fly with it. But when you look at all the drivers below hand, every single one of them can beat Yeltek. when it comes
out.
to the qualifying. Sorry, they can beat that time that he's got there currently anyway when it comes to the mediums. So Yoltek will be in a position now where he's going to be starting from quite far down. Potentially, he's going to be looking at sort of P16 being the worst case scenario, as the other two drivers, Rainbow and Mayster, they've obviously retired and did slower laps. So he might be stuck where he is. But Just Chillin', by the way, sets a P1. I mean, granted, it's on the mediums, but still 5/10 clear of Wemmels.
Yeah, well, I think we're approaching your favourite time of the day.
Yeah.
5 minutes left of the session. Not a lot of action on track. Is it that time?
It's absolutely that time. It is the calm before the storm, as the drivers are currently sat in the pit box, prepping themselves for the final push, sort of considering what tyres they want to go on, what tyres they want to start their race on. And realistically, if you're going on anything other than mediums, you're in for a world of pain, because the softs do not do well here in the slightest. They can do well on some tracks, but this is not one of them, just purely down to how much aerodynamic grip you require. So you absolutely need to be focused on holding onto these medium compound tyres and just really pushing as hard as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Mediums will go to around 14, 15 on the lap counter. Hards not that much longer if they're going hards to soft, hards to mediums. Softs, I think you're probably looking at about 6 laps, if that. Well, we'll soon see. 4 minutes left. Hazard is the only man on track.
He is, and I think you might be in a position today. We'll see after the qualifying session. I mean, I guess we shouldn't really say it after the qualifying session, but you might end up eating your words if Hazard ends up not doing as good a job as Copy does today. Because I mean, as it stands, he's not looking too well. He's done a 120.547. He's currently the slowest car on the track as it stands. Now, that's not to say that he won't improve. But, you know, the one thing we always say when it comes to Hazard is he does not do particularly great in the qualifying session. It's always when it comes down to the race where he really starts to gain his pace and gain his positions through the consistency and the, consistency not just in the race pace, but also in the lack of penalties. So we'll see if he does that again today, but he needs to, for once, give us a good qualifying session.
He'll have 2 laps if he wants to go for it. That's the only thing going for him at the moment. Last week, he put it 14th on the grid, finished 11th. Copy started 6th, put it 7th.
Oh, no!
Oh, dear.
That's a big mistake.
Okay, well, I think Hazard is going to be last.
I mean, he's got another chance to go again.
But he's not got time to get back to the pits and change those tyres.
I don't think he will. I think he's going to stick it in mode 0 for everything and then just cruise round. He only did 2 corners before he lost it, so he's not taken a huge amount of life out of the tyres, but that spin wouldn't have helped him, and then the spin to get corrected again also didn't help him either. I think you may have to start prepping your speech of apology to Copy based on that alone.
That's the end of the race. How about that?
Okay. There needs to be a forfeit if you're wrong.
I've seen Hazard come from similar places and end up with points. It's going to take a mighty effort, but it is not out of the realms of possibility. And I mean, that slide could have heated up his tyres perfectly on that one spot. We'll soon see, won't we? We got Zerd on a flyer right now. Brownie's also on a flyer. Just showing is still in the bits. He's coming out late and going on the softs. Or is he basing people?
Well, I mean, he's leaving it fine. If he wants to change the tyres back again, he needs to come out the pits right now. And I think he is actually going to come out on these softs, which is concerning because they're not the tyres you want to be on, realistically.
No, it's interesting that you thought Yawn was really quick, but Yawn is having to go soft tyres. He's chosen to come out on the softs, and that's going to be a big mistake.
Well, I actually think he won't make it to the start line.
Who?
Just Chillin'.
JC? I'm watching Zerd at the moment.
So, Just Chillin' came out of the pits. His little graphic there on the screen went from pit to outlap at the time of when the fastest lap time had been set. Which suggests to me that he's only just left the pit lane at that time. I don't think he's going to be able to make it again, but here comes Zerd now around the final corner. Is he going to be able to improve? It's looking fast. It's looking like a top spot, and that's a 1:18.020 for that man there. I did say I didn't think he was going to be fast, but he has surprised us all. It's not over yet, though, as he's just one of the first of the few drivers to actually do a fast lap. Is anybody else going to be able to beat him? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Brownie set a time. He's done for the day. He's in mode 0. He's up into P3 for now. Edmonton smashes it 0.2 faster, exactly 0.2 faster than Zerd and Mizzo, getting in that gap between Edmonton and Zerd. Times are flying. As Zerd just gone a bit too early. Backed out, he's
yawn.
done. And Yawn might have just retired straight up. Where is JC? JC got across and started.
Well, I mean, he probably cut the corner a fair amount. That'd be why he did it. Makes sense. Plenty of opportunities to do that on this track. There's very much out the way on the track there. Here he is, come flying. He was fast in the mediums, not as quite as fast as the others though, as it stands. But yeah, where is my G?
Coming up to the last few corners. Yonti's not far behind him as well. Yonti's another man that could spoil the party. G coming around the final. P3.
This is looking if it stays like this, I've got the 1 and 3.
What about Yonti though? No.
P5. So
JC then.
And I think he might take it. I mean, we did say we were going to take out the softs. Although it might work out. I think I've got the 1 and 3. It looks like, unless JC can spoil the fun for me. But he's just running deep. That's it. That's him out. That's his qualifying session done. He's going to take P8 at best, and I've got the 1 and 3. I nailed it.
Yeah. Well, I got Martin G in the top 3. I was close. I had Zerd P4. So yeah, I mean, you got the 1 and 3. That's the important part, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
We should wait for Mizzo now to retire from session, and we're done.
So, and Nickton takes the pole position today with a 1:17.820. Mizzo there in second place with a 1:17.925. Martin G with a solid third place with a 1:18.017. And Zerd 0.003 of a second behind in fourth place.
That's how close you were to not getting that right.
Yep. And I mean, I made it sound like Zerd was much slower than Martin G in this race. They couldn't have been any closer than that, really, let's be honest. So there is the rundown at the end of that qualifying session. Nickton takes pole position, with Mizzo chasing him in P2. Martin G takes third, with Zerd ending the second row of the grid on fourth place. Yonti takes fifth, with Copy in sixth. Buemels takes 7th, Just Chillin' takes 8th, Brownie takes 9th with BK, his teammate, in 10th, and Shadows and Dust is the best of the rest there in 11th place. Yawn in 12th, Yotek 13th, Maester 14th, as we saw he got retired, same with Yotek, and same as Rainbow. Fossetti in that little sandwich there, he's 15th, Gooby is 17th, he does have a 5-place grid penalty, and Hazard there in 18th place. Now, we didn't get any... Say again, sorry?
Are we restarting or are we going? Looks like we're going.
I think we're going. It's not been reported. There's not going to be any changes as it stands. So we are going to carry on and continue in this manner. So bear in mind, we don't know exactly what happened at the end. In that collision between Gooby.
Gooby assumed that he was going to ghost. Ghosting is off. He crashed.
Well, that's on him in that respect then, I think.
Yeah. If ghosting was on and he still crashed, then you might say, yeah, okay, that's a bit unfair. He should have ghosted by that point. But if ghosting is off and you crash into someone that you think is going to ghost, that's your own damn fault, in all fairness. Harsh, but fair.
Right, here we go. So we are going to get underway with the formation lap. And for once, I'm going to take point here on the predictions for the race. I'll save you a bit of time. I'm that confident. Looking at how good my 1 and 3 predictions were, I got 66% of it right. 66.6% of it right, sorry. I do think that Nickton will cross the line first. Whether or not he takes the win today, I don't know. Yonti, I don't know. There's just something about Yonti that makes me want to put him back on the top step. But there's also something about me that makes me not want to put him there as well. I'm going to put Yonti on the top step today. He is fast and has been exceptionally quick just recently. Zed he's like a roller coaster. He's been very up and down. He's had good times and he's had some seriously bad times. It's not looking like he's looking too hot today. If he's not on pole position, he's not looking too hot in my opinion. I think now, yes, he's P4, but I think Yonti will be on him in a flash. And when it comes to the race pace, Yonti is much faster there than he is in the qualifying. His difficulty is he does quite often get himself a penalty or two. So I'm going to go with Yonti finishing the race after penalties are taken into account in P1. I think Nickton will take P2, and then in P3, I'm going to go with Mizzo.
Right, well, I'm just counting on a big first lap accident for my prediction, because I like those. I'm going for Martin G to take the win. Mizzo and Eniton are both DNFing. Copy will surprise us and take P2, and Bommels will take P3.
So is that Martin G win, Copy P2, Bommels P3, is that right?
Yes, I'm going big and crazy.
Well, I mean, that is a big and that is a crazy, but... Yeah. I'm pretty sure you did that a couple of races ago, and you fell flat on your face.
Yes, but I've also done it when I've said, watch out for them, they're going to come flying through. I'm also looking at Yeltek, looking in down 13th. He's got pace on the hard tyres. What can he do from there? I reckon he can get top 6.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. That's all we can do as it stands, as the lights are on here, and as soon as they go out, we're going to be underway with the Spanish Grand Prix, and immediately there was no delay there at all. Mizzo is going to be looking for a run in towards turn 1. This is the crucial corner. If you can get there along the inside, then you are going to benefit. Martin G is coming around the outside here of Mizzo and having a good old wobble. It's now going to be too wide. Big contact. There's Mizzo gone. There's more cars gone. That's Zerd falling down the order as well. Tons of contact left, right, and centre. Gooby gets caught up as well. There is just so many. Zerd has retired from the session. He is out, and Forsetti and Mizzo, the two McLarens, are down the field in 16th and 17th place.
I did predict a big incident on the opening lap, and I wasn't expecting both McLarens to be involved in it. I thought Eniton might get someone sneakily trying to take one down the inside on him on turn 1, causing that, but it's Forsetti and Mizzo, the two big losers, along with Zerd then. Zerd I don't think he crashed out, did he? I think he might have straight up retired.
Yeah, he did. He just straight up retired. His car was still moving. He was just fed up. So he's out of this race, but someone who's really looking good is his teammate, Martin G, up there in P2. 4/10 off the back of it, Nick Turn. He's looking hot. He's looking special, and it's looking like your prediction for P1 might actually come true, unless Nick Turn has anything to say on it. But it's also looking pretty good here for Yonti in P3.
Yeah, I'm keeping my eyes on the grid at the back. A lot of dicing going on back there. Yeltek has made ground. Rainbow, huge gains, 8 positions gained on this opening lap. Yeltek up 4, Yorn up 5, so Toro Rosso's having the best start of the lot. Big losers, obviously, Mizzo down 14, and a lot of pit stops taking place at this precise moment in time.
Yeah, lots and lots of them coming in.
GC.
Where is he?
He's just taken Yeltek down the inside into turn 1.
He looks like he's on fire today. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's looking pretty good. So there is a investigation underway between Mizzo and Nickturn as a result of that contact earlier on the first lap. As you saw, it caused a huge collection of cars there. Tons of people into the pits as a result of it. Not quite sure exactly whose fault it was, but that's down to the stewards to work out and for us to enjoy. Buemos is catching up to the back of Yonti. You can see him right there. Yonti's actually fallen quite far off the back of Martin G, now definitely outside of DRS. We will not be using DRS this lap though. It will be next lap when that is enabled, and it won't be until we get to the middle of the track again before they can actually use it.
Yeah, this detection point is just before turn 9. Well, I was going to say between 8 and 9, but it pretty much is. The detection point for the one on the home straight is pretty much at the pit entry where it starts hatching off. So that's that one. And that's going to be enabled right about now as Eniton sets the fastest lap. Master G trying to hold on to the back of him, 0.8 behind right now. Some positions changing behind. JC making moves on Rainbow at the moment. Is he going to send one on him? It looks like he's going to. He tried around the outside of turn 1. He will have the inside for the next corner. Will he have space to do it? He does. JC up to P8. Oh no, Rainbow's come straight back at him. JC's been hung out to dry on the dirty line. Rainbow's got it, but JC's going to be on the outside here. Has he got it back? He's ahead for now. But Rainbow comes straight back at him. Oh, Yeltek nearly losing the back end. His back end stepped out on him, and he's trying to take advantage of these two scrapping. He's just looking for a spot to just slide one down the inside. But Rainbow staying ahead of JC for now, and we're about to see some DRS.
Yeah, we are indeed. And the thing is, you also got to think about the fact that Yoltech will have the benefit of 2 cars worth of dirty air. But JC got an absolute slingshot out of turn 9. He's now going to be leading round, coming on the outside here of Rainbow. He needs to hold this car alongside of him if he can, but he just can't. And he kind of predicted that was going to happen. Rainbow just bounced over the curb, came shooting across the track, and it's very lucky there that JC managed to get out of the way just in time in order to avoid that collision. Otherwise, that would have been both of them very much in damage and in trouble. But still, as it stands, they are staying where they are. Martin G, half a second, closing in on it. Nick Turn, this is looking fast between the two of them. It's still at Nick Turn leading the race. Martin G will not get the overtake done here, and I've heard from the stewards that on the opening track incident between Mizzo and Nick Turn is going to be investigated after the race, as it's just not clear enough just yet.
Fair enough. JC has made his moves on Rainbow. He's up to P8 now. Can go charging after his one of his best friends on the track, I think, in Beaker. That should be a fun one to watch. We've seen them scrap a fair bit. But Yeltek is still trying to make moves on Rainbow as well. Rainbow is going backwards slowly but surely. And Yeltek just got caught out big time there from Rainbow's braking. Wing damage on Yeltek. And he'll be bringing this one back to the pits, I suspect, right about now.
Yeah, that in play on the left has disappeared, which does mean then that he's going to be struggling through the right-handers, of which one of them's coming up now. I'm going to quickly stay on board with him as he comes round one of the harder right-handers. He's kept it all right. Yeah, he's got to take it slow. He's going to lose so much time as a result of that. He's going to be chucking himself back into the pits, like you say. But Beaker closing up on Yawn.
Yeah, 0.749, 0.7 now is the gap. The lead out front is just under a second as well. Bournemouth is closing up onto Yonti. We could see some battles going on here. It's all about that final corner. If you nail that corner, you've got a great chance, even from about 0.8 back. If you don't nail it, then you've got a chance of losing a place or just getting nowhere near the guy in front. Yonti got a decent drive. Bournemouth's got a decent drive, so there's nothing there. Mason and Rainbow swapping places. In the last of the points places, Rainbow now dropping back to P10. And he's going to have a hazard on his tail. Pretty sharpish, I would have thought.
Yeah, he is. So now Yoltek's in a real predicament. So he has pitted. He's gone onto the medium compound tyres, which tells us one of two things. He's definitely going for a two-stopper. But is it going to be another set of mediums later on, or is he going to try and stretch these mediums to go for a soft stint? It's possible, but it would not be ideal.
I think whatever he's going to do, he's going to go onto hards. That strategy's not really going to work. It's only 5 laps in. If that was 15, then yes. I think he's just going to be too short. He might double stop onto mediums. He started on hards or mediums? I think he started on hards, doesn't he?
Who, Yeltek? He started on hards, yeah.
Yeah, so he'll double mediums from here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to have to. He hasn't really... There's no way that he's going to try and stick it out onto the softs, in my opinion. I think it's just far too risky. And Yoltek's not the kind of guy who would ignore that. He knows that the situation is exactly that. So we'll see how he does. Right, Rainbow. Yep.
Almost up into P3. Taking Yachty down the home straight, very simple DRS overtake. He's now going to be setting sights on Martin G, who's actually closing up onto the back of Eniton. We can see a battle for the lead in the next lap or so. Pit window for mediums is going to be around 14:15 time.
1 second.
Maybe.
Rainbow's coming down the inside here. I've made sure there's contact between the two of them. He went for the inside line. It didn't quite pan out how he wanted it to, but he did not really lose anything other than a bit of time between him and Meister. Meister would have got a bit of a shock there, and now he'll be keeping his eyes firmly locked on those mirrors, trying to protect himself and make sure that that doesn't happen again.
Yeah, and he's going to now try and rebuild and get back out to the rear, and Meister's going to have DRS to help him here. 3/10 off the back as they come round this corner. Meister looks to get a decent drive. Right? We got an alright drive, but Meister's going to hold this one with relative ease and see how they get on through these corners. I hate that turn 11. It just throws you up in the air and you sort of land. I know you don't actually go in the air, but it feels like you fly. It's like going over a humpback bridge, isn't it? You just hit it and you go, when are my wheels going to come back down? And where they're going to be facing? It's really off-putting, that little bump.
So,
Let's see.
Fossetti
Yeah.
has just retired, but that was an intentional retirement. That is not good. Fossetti might end up being in trouble for that one. Well, looking further up the field, though, Rainbow's still on the back of Meister, as we see again coming down the home straight. It's just about 2.5 tenths between them. Rainbow is trying his best to catch up to Meister. Now, this time last lap, we saw Rainbow go for a send it down the inside. Are we going to see the same thing again? He's looking for it, but it's going to be nothing. And Meister covers the line knowing that was going to happen. But that's the sort of stuff we want to see. Yoltek setting the fastest lap with a 1:21. Oh, again, another nudge. And as I predicted, Fossetti is under investigation for the intentional retirement on track.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very simple thing. Just get it to the pits and retire. That is the best thing you can do in this stage. If you don't want to race anymore, just all you got to do is drive a lap. He retired in section 1, so it's only just past the pit lane when it happened. So you should really have brought it into the pits before. But I'm still watching Meister and Rainbow while keep an eye on the gaps at the front.
Yeah, exactly the same situation here. I mean, I'm seeing Martin G sort of bring the gap a bit closer, but it's not really getting anything more than that. They're already past turns 1 and 2, and it's staying about half a second. But this battle here is actually really shaping up towards Rainbow's favour. As you can see, Meister having to shake the slipstream to try and get that position secured, and it looks like it worked. But now it's all about the exit, and we've seen that Rainbow's not afraid to go in towards turn 4 and look for the inside line. Meister's known that. He obviously got a little bit of a wake-up call last time round by getting that nudge. So he's going to be looking to defend the inside as much as possible, which you can see he takes the tighter line, but he also knows that Rainbow's just a bit too far back and nothing more can come of that.
Yeah, he'll sit back for now, just have another go next time around. They are both on the hard tyres, so they're both going to be stopping around 18, 19, 20, that sort of period, late teens, really. We'll soon see. I don't think we're going to see anyone pitting for a while. I just wonder who's going to be the first one to go for that undercut. Who's going to be the first medium to blink? Is Martin G going to fancy an undercut on any turn and come in a lap earlier than you might expect? Or is any turn going to come in a lap earlier to cover off that undercut? We'll soon find out, as we're about 5 laps away from said pit window.
Yeah, thereabouts. I mean, I think Martin G...
Now. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, never mind. That's the end of the first straight.
Well, you say that, but we've seen what Rainbow can do in those sorts of situations. I'm wondering if Martin G's going to try the same sort of thing. He's currently sat in mode 5. He's gone to mode 0 already, which tells me he's not looking for the inside line. He's just waiting for the DRS lines.
Oh, contact! Get away with it. Rainbow just holding the slide. Meister left in space. Rainbow didn't quite take the space. He wanted where Meister was a little bit more. Both coming away with nothing, no damage. A little lost dignity, I think, for some.
Yeah.
But I think Rainbow's all out of that after we've seen him at France. He likes that corner of the Rainbow Road, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, and he's not fond of the fact that we named it after him, but it's one of the things we do. Keeping an eye out as well, further afield. The gap between these two is about the same as it is for the front runners at the minute, although that hasn't really changed at all. Something to keep an eye on, though, is that this scrap has gone on for such a long time that Hazard, who started so far down, is now at P11 and he's right on the back of this. He's almost within DRS range of them. If he can just push himself a little bit further over the next lap or so, he will be in a position where he can benefit from the slipstream and DRS.
Change the lead, change at the front. Martin G going to go round the outside of it in the turn. Slides on into the lead. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
Sudden overtake. Martin G, your new race leader, enter turn. Yellow fuel on enter turn, and just slightly less DRS as well. So Martin G takes the lead as Beaker comes into the pits rather early. Did he have a nose change, or did he just fancy a very early pit stop? Don't know.
I don't think it was anything more than just a tyre change. I think he's just trying an early stop, maybe. Maybe his tyres weren't feeling too great and he's just had to go into the hard, but it's going to be 23 laps for him doing that, and that's a very, very long stint to try. But yeah, beautiful overtake there from ING, taking race lead away from it, Nixon, and I must say, Amkasa, it's looking like your prediction is about to be nailed on the head there.
Well, I've still got to get copy up there. I got 2 out of 3 at the moment, perfect. And I've got half. I'm give myself half point for getting the constructor right. That's what we're doing now when I get it wrong.
Oh, okay.
No. So yeah, it's looking so far so good. The fact that Mizzo made the mistake or had the incident at the start helped me massively. And Martin G is flying. 21.1 fastest lap.
Yep, he is indeed. So Forsetti, the stewards have been in touch about his intentional retirement on track. He has been issued 3 penalty points, as it is a rule in the rules of the league to not intentionally retire on the track. If it had been a safety car, I think it would have had a bit more of a harsher punishment, but I think he understands that. It's been a rule for as long as we can remember. He's just going to have to accept it.
League, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hazard is now on the back of Rainbow. Back on to Falsetti. Does that mean McLaren has a qualifying ban?
Well, there had already been one, I think it was last week, when Mizzo and Brownie both had qualifying bans. If you remember, Brownie had a big contact with him and Buemels and Nick Turn, and so Brownie got an instant qualifying ban as an accumulation of all the penalty points it accrued. Mizzo had one as well for a minor collision, but it was just again accumulation of all the penalty points. And now we might be seeing Falsetti getting one, but I don't know how many penalty points he's had. That's actually, if I remember correctly, that's the first time I've seen him in trouble.
I could find out, but I won't.
Well, I mean, you have to pause that thought anyway, because look at Nick Turn. He is on the back here of Martin G. He's not going to necessarily attack it. He's in mode 2 because he knows he has to keep the gap pretty short in order to use the fact that he's got no fuel and just push together to hold on to the back of him, regenerate that fuel quite a considerable amount. But if you look in that bottom right, that is a green spanner there, which tells us he is in his pit window.
Yeah, just a quick flag. Yellow flag in sector 2. Gone already, so not too much to worry about. It's back again, though. Who's causing that? Not sure.
No, I can't see it either. He's still there.
All over the place.
But he's in sector 3, so it can't be him. It's back again. Who is it? It could be Meister. He's having troubles. He's run wide a couple of times there. I mean, the battle between these two is still ongoing. Nothing's changed there.
Mizzo and Beaker. Just flicking through to see who's causing the yellow flag. Mizzo and Beaker just had an oversight. Maybe it's been caused by Falsetti's corpse.
But he crashed here, which is still sector 1.
Well, I'm on board with Mizzo. Let's have a look. See where if we can see any flags. As we said, it disappears. Great.
I have had confirmation, by the way, that they are the first penalty points issued to Falsetti, and we have race leader has decided to come into the pits. He's going for the early pit stop to try and secure himself, and Copy's also trying the undercut as well.
Interesting. We'll see if they work out. I think Master G might struggle towards the end of the race. Enderton's probably going to do a couple more laps on these. He doesn't need to come in as early, so he'll be quite comfortable with that. Let's have a look at Hazard and Rainbow there on the hards. Hazard's closest, but not close enough unless Rainbow... Is Hazard feeling it? No, he's not feeling it. That would have been a dive and a half. You never know.
Yeah. I mean, looking at how his qualifying went, I don't think he's feeling particularly comfortable here. Neither is Gooby with a 3-second time penalty. He's already in P16, and his qualifying was awful as a result of the collision that he had. Further down, it is just not working out. I've been told that the yellow flag is indeed just a bug and nothing more.
That's good.
I can live with that.
Well, as long as it's not an actual on-track flag, which prevents overtaking, that's where it becomes an issue. Obviously, esports don't really require you to slow down on wave double yellows, do they? And prepare to stop. That's one thing they've got advantage. They can just keep driving. Enderton has come in. That's a little earlier than I suspected. So is Yonti. Bowles is staying out, so Bowles takes hold the race lead. Where is Martin G? Just going to go on board with him. Mace a second or so behind him. Martin G's got free air in front of him. Will he have Enderton in front of him or behind him? I think he might be behind him. About to find out.
It's going to be close. It's going to be tight. Yonti is slowly coming up to it. Yeah. But actually, look at this. Martin G is just ahead. And it's not as far away as I expected it to be. It looks like the in-lap from at Nickturn was not not fast enough. But Martin G's outlap was just a touch faster, and by that I mean literally a couple of tenths. He's managed to extend what was 5 tenths to 9 tenths. So he's on the limit. Could easily go either way, but there needs to just be clean and consistent racing. And this has now brought a big battle for, well, current P2, but net realistically is just going to stay the same.
Well, you say that, but if these guys start getting into the scrap, they can start losing time quite comfortably to Bommels. If Bommels goes out for another lap, he might end up in the lead if these guys were scrapping. But it's looking like Anytone and Martin G are just already pulled away from Meister. That gap is 1.2, 1.3 seconds. Bommels is in, and this might end up really bad for Bommels. He's going to come out probably in the battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, which is the last place he wants to be. But if you need to pit, you need to pit.
Yeah.
Let's see, where's he going to come out?
All right, here we go. As Margie is charging it down, Buemos has been passed already, like you said. Is he going to be able to get out in this, or is he going to be stuck bang in the middle of it? I think he's stuck in it. It's going to be Hazard making a huge lunge down the inside in towards turn 1. He's actually just about kept his car on it. It's actually sent both of the Cessna Red Bulls out wide, and here comes Buemos going around the outside of Rainbow. Rainbow's just squeezing him to the edge, but giving him enough space to go for it. This means that Buemos is going to have to take the outside line through turn 4. It's going to be a really tough one to do, especially on brand new hards, and he's just about in it. I think that position is his.
Yeah, I thought Hazard was going to hit Bommels there. He pulled out the slipstream right as Bommels rejoined the circuit, and I thought that was going to be a big accident on the home straight. And Hazard judged it to perfection and pulled out, missing Bommels. Maybe it just looked tighter from my point of view than on board with Hazard. I'm sure Hazard knew Bommels was there. Hopefully he knew Bommels was there.
I'm certain he knew he was there. I don't think... Oh, that was again Rainbow just getting really tight on that curb, bouncing over there, but somehow they managed to keep it together and he's not lost the car. But this has brought Yonti right onto the back of this. We are still expecting 3 drivers to pit in the out of this battle here, so you're going to be seeing Meister, Hazard and Rainbow decide to chuck themselves in the pits, but they do have the benefit of going from hards to mediums, and I think they're going to be looking to do it around about lap 18 maybe, if they're really feeling comfortable. But Rainbow is under attack now from Yonti. He was defending earlier against Hazard. It didn't quite work out as well as he'd intended. Yonti's all over the back of him right now. He's going to try and take the inside line if he can get the cut back, because Beaker gets its penalty for corner cutting. Here comes Yonti now. Somehow found some extra grip. He's going to look for an inside line here. Rainbow's going to try and cover for it, and there's going to be nothing more that he can do. Beaker has retired.
Beaker did Beaker things. 5-second penalty in the pit lane. Oh, just a little bit of nudging between Yonti and Rainbow. Rainbow is not giving this up. They're not really fighting for position, but Rainbow says, "Look, I don't care. I'm fighting." Why not?
Yeah.
There's no rule saying you have to let him through because he's going faster than you, or he's on a different strategy. And he's just showing that he's just battling. He's lost the position now, but now Yonti's going to be he's on the back of Hazard. Same esports, definitely not going to be team orders there though.
No, definitely not. Buemos is right here on the back of Meister, who we know is on much older tyres. Look at that, 15 laps on those hards. This is now Buemos losing time to the front runners. 3.6 seconds is how far Meister is off the back of it Nickturn, and Buemos needs to pass him ASAP, but he didn't get a good exit out of the final corner. Yes, he's probably going to be alongside him as they come towards turn 1, but in fact he's even too far back to even be in that situation.
Yeah, Yonti and Hazard going side by side through turn 1. Yonti getting a little bit on the grass. That's really hindered any chance he had of getting past Hazard. Hazard now holding on to P5. Rainbow still behind them, waiting for an opportunity to take advantage of that. Battle's going on further back as well. Yeltek is getting pressure by Brownie. It may not be for points at the moment, and there probably won't be for points at all. Both those drivers will still pit. And JC in 10th hasn't pitted as yet. So
he's pit.
Yeah, sorry, he has pit. Sorry, that's what I meant to say. He has pit, so they'll drop back another 20 seconds.
Yeah.
As he leaves the session.
Oh, that was close. There was almost a big wobble there from Yonti. Yonti now on the back of Hazard again. This is not going to be an attacking opportunity through here unless Hazard makes a big mistake on this exit, and it hasn't. So Hazard needs to find a way to break the gap just a little bit further. Around 6/10 is sort of the minimum you want to be at in order to protect yourself down the home straight. But he's already had a wobble there, and he's already got Yonti less than 3/10 behind him. He could literally kiss his gearbox with that front wing. He's that close. But now this is going to be Yonti really putting the hammer down. Gets very fast around that corner, and this is Hazard. He's going to be a sitting duck now. Nothing more can be done here. There's also a battle going up ahead as Buemel's managed to get past Meister, and Yonti has done the deed on Hazard.
Yeah, simple overtake, fresher tyres. It is as simple as that. There's no two ways about it. Rainbow unable to take advantage of those two battling and get up closer to Hazard. He's half a second off the back of him. Copy is also on a different strategy, but he's 2.6 seconds off the back of Rainbow right now and needs to close up to help with my predictions, because I had him third. Or second, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean,
Somewhere up there.
he's going to gain 3 places, obviously, when these guys decide to pit, but that's still only going to put him P5. But again, though, it's still not looking good for you, as remember, you are going to be eating your words if Hazard finishes lower than Copy at the end of this race.
I did. Who did I say was going to get in top 6? I think it was Hazard, didn't I, or something, or Yeltek.
I think Yeltek
I might be
was
using
going
my
to be in
word
the
on
top 6.
Yeltek, that's for sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, he got caught out. He was looking good, and I think he would have been bang on the nose had that incident not happened. But obviously it did happen, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. So he's going to be down there in P11 as it stands. He's going to end up pitting and then probably going on to another set of mediums, but that's all there's going to be. I actually don't think he can even go into another set of mediums. I think he's used them all on the qualifying and this lap.
Well, then he might as well pit now. If he hasn't got any mediums left, why wait? Get the hards on, get as much use out of them as possible. Those mediums are starting to fall off. If you don't have any spares, then yeah, come in. I think we're coming in this up. I think we're about to see a flurry of pit stops.
Yeah, I think we are as well. I mean, Meister needs to make sure he gets in quick enough so he doesn't get stuck in with all these other drivers that are just behind him. If he does have any problems doing that, he will lose a lot of time. It's not that far away between him and Hazard. It's only just about 1.8 seconds separating the two of them. And that can easily change just in one little mistake on the in-lap. We'll keep an eye as well further upfield as Nick Turn is right here on the back of Martin G. This is the first time in a while we're seeing Nick Turn really properly pressuring Martin G. But he does still have the yellow fuel warning light. That can easily change at the drop of a hat, remember? And I think ultimately all it's going to come down to is how good can Nick Turn utilize the slipstream and DRS from Martin G. Also, if you look at the ARS levels between the two, Nick Turn is managing it like a champ. You would think that the way that how he's so close, he's either dumping a load of fuel or dumping a load of ERS, and if he's not dumping a load of ERS, I mean, he does have a fuel warning light on, which tells us it's likely it's going to be burning a lot of that fuel away.
Yeah, he had double and still has double of what Martin G has. It's actually now about 3 times as much. He's currently sitting pretty on 80%. Martin G is on 20%.
Yeah.
So he's just managing it to a champ. And there you go, look, pit stop flurry, as I said.
Yeah, you could have nailed that any more on the point there, could you? 6 cars into the pits, all having different... Yeah, 7 now with Gooby getting in there as well. I don't think we'll be seeing Shadows and Dust chucking himself in there, but 6 cars in, 6 cars out, 7, sorry, and it's looking like majority of them went for another set of mediums, including Yoltek.
Brownie didn't. I don't know if it... That is second stop then, I think. Must be. Yeah, so that's Brownie's second stop. So he's done a medium, hard, or hard, medium, I don't know. Something.
I think if I remember correctly, he actually started on the hard compound and he went to medium and now back to hard again. But again, same scenario as last lap. Like, Nick Turn is on the back of Martin G. The thing to note though is how much better Nick Turn is doing in comparison to Martin G when it comes to ERS management. And Nick Turn is literally applying enough pressure for Martin G to really commit and push his ERS levels as far as he can. And this isn't the first time I've seen this. Me and you commentated him, and just the other day, I think it was in China, and he was really struggling to manage his ERS levels to a point where he was able to keep it together. If you look at it, it's like he just turns it off too late. And that's how he's not really benefiting on recharging it. So give it another lap. I think Nick Turn will be in a position where he's got no choice but to overtake him. But I have just seen the yellow fuel warning light flicker off. It keeps coming back on again, but he is now at a point where he will have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race.
Just about, yeah. So I think what Martin G needs to do is just needs to put it in mode 0 for pretty much the entire lap, other than on the straights, and just save up as much as you can. Don't need to use mode 4 unless Enter turns right on your gearbox, and Enter turns right on your gearbox.
Yeah.
It's mode 4 time on these straights.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying, you know, and Martin G didn't manage his ERS levels enough, and now Nickton's in a position where he hasn't really got much of a choice but to overtake here. He could turn it off, but he knows this is go time, this is the opportunity. Slipstream is being fully utilised here. Martin G goes defensive as he comes up towards it. He's now put himself dead centre in the track. This is now a predicament for Nickton to think about, as he's going to have to choose which one he wants to go for. There is contact between the two of them, but they are still keeping it side by side. Martin G will take the inside line in towards turn 3. No damage cross, but there's more contact as Nickton carries a lot more pace through that corner. But somehow Martin G holds on as we come towards turn 4. There's no inside gap there for Nickton to capitalise on, and we are going to be going one more time here in Spain.
I thought we were about to see Martin G go one more time round about doing donuts at turn 1. He'd look to just step out that back end after the contact with Eniton and survive somehow as Yeltsin goes fastest of everyone down there in 11th place. He's got a chance of points if he can really turn the wick up. It's a big ask though to gain that much time on someone on the same age tyres as you. But you never know.
No, I mean he is quick, but he just hasn't put enough time into this track, I don't feel. Nickton, that was a big tank slapper there. He caught it nicely, still together, still doing okay, but I think it's the fact that he's been running in the dirty air for such a long time, because he's not really been breaking it off a bit. It looked like he did there. I think he knows. I think I just read that situation perfectly. He's been running so close to the back of Martin G for a while now. He's not been able to really do anything more other than just manage his tyres altogether. He is still here. He is still within DRS range of Martin G, but he has to reset his car a little bit, and I don't mean ERS levels, I mean purely brakes and tyre temperatures and engine temperatures getting a little bit too hot.
Yeah, but that's going to be good for Martin G. If Martin G is in a similar sort of situation, he's going to be so much easier to cool his car down because he's got no one in front of him. Eniton has Martin G in front of him, giving him some of his heat back towards him. And if Eniton starts dropping off, Martin G will be able to save some of his ERS as well. And it's basically a double-edged sword for Eniton. Do you keep up the pressure on Martin G and hope you get past him? Or do you back off, cool your car down, but give Martin G some more ERS?
I don't think Nickton realises how low Martin G's ERS actually is. And Nickton knows he's good. He knows he's comfortable. You can tell from that alone. And I think regardless of how much information he can get from his Jeff about Martin G, you know that just looking at his levels, he's 86%, he's cozy, he's happy right now. You can just keep chucking it into mode 3, keep going to mode 4 for a little while down the home straight, fully utilise the DRS that he's got now to just bring that gap a little bit closer each lap, and then ideally in another lap's time, because again, looking at the ERS levels, it's 33% right now, and that's in the braking zone of turn 1. Keep an eye out throughout, and we'll see that ERS level just start to drop. He's in mode 5 now. That's how much he's trying to just pull away. He keeps mode 5 in it just to get that extra bit of grip and push away, but he's chucking the ERS in the bin every time he does it.
Yeah, a little battle going on for 9th and 10th. Hazard and Rainbow. Rainbow's going to get DRS down the home straight. I think Hazard is a sitting duck here, or a sitting bull in that car, as the Toro Rosso goes flying past.
Well, he's going to be looking red, that's for sure, isn't he?
He's not that red in the face just yet. He's not too embarrassed. But Rainbow up to P9, same age tyres. I don't think Rainbow's got the pace in him to catch up to Meister, but it'd be interesting to see.
Well, I mean, he's not that far off. He's only 1.5, and now he's been released on Hazard. I think he might close up sooner than you think. I actually think Meister is looking really abnormally slow today. I've not seen anything from Meister in a little while where I can go, holy, this guy is insane. I've not put him in the top 3 predictions for a while. Eniton
just gave the dirtiest corner car on the second part of the chicane. Surprising, didn't get any penalties for it. I think you must have missed it because you would have said exactly the same.
Yep.
It looks like he didn't even try for the apex.
No, I completely missed it.
Have penalties soon.
Well, I mean, it's not out of his character, is it, to be getting these
Right.
penalties? We have seen it a few times where he just runs a bit deep, gets himself a couple of penalties, and it's cost him a few races wins a couple of in the past. So I want to see a more consistent at Nick 10 for future. It's definitely a work in progress point for him to work on, but Martin G looking hot today. He's really delivered everything he needs to. He's shown signs of weakness, don't get me wrong, and I think his only real weakness is just his small little driver mechanics of ERS management. That is all I can critique him on, is purely that alone. He's a fast driver, he is consistent, he's always right up there at the top, but yeah, I think once he nails the ERS management levels, I think he's going to be winning a lot more races.
Yeah, he's on 33% right now. He can't dump everything he needs when he needs it. He's going to have to save some. So yeah, Anytone actually takes that final corner correctly this time, or second to last corner. Let's see the gaps. 0.7 is the gap. I think Anytone might be sitting behind for a little bit longer. He's running mode 4 to try to hold on to the back end, onto Martin G. And Martin G's trying to do everything he can to just get rid of him. And is it a case that Anytone is just waiting? He knows that he should know he's got the ERS to burn. And he's just playing the wasting game, waits the last few laps, then make you move. And the problem for Anytone now is if he picks up a penalty, which is completely within his character, best place to pick up penalties is turn 8. He's then got to get past Martin G and get a 3-second lead.
Yeah.
This corner there you go. That's the way they pick him up. Turn 8.
Right.
I'm surprised you haven't seen too many yet.
No, it's quite lenient actually, to be honest, that track. We'll actually look a little bit further down as Jorn is actually right here on the back of Copy. This is the first time we've seen Jorn really on fire so far in Spain. He was telling me he was looking good. He said his pace was about on par with Yonti, and as it stands, he's not quite up there with Yonti. I think Yonti must have been holding back in the practice sessions as Jorn is trying his best to get past Copy. Copy is going defensive down in towards a hairpin at the end of the middle straight. It's still Copy holding on to P5. Nothing more can be done here. It's now just a case of Jorn needing to regenerate his ERS levels. Much better off is Copy, and he's usually the one we usually critique for that. He usually either doesn't use enough of it or uses too much. But look at the front runners. There it is. 3-second time penalty for Nickton. We predicted it, and it's currently the wound that's probably going to take him out of the race win if he doesn't get past and push hard. Oh, Jorn and Copy have managed to swap places. Jorn's through. That's down the DRS home straight. He's ahead now in turn 1. He's ahead in turn 2, and he's going to stay like that throughout turn 3 unless Copy gets an absolutely magical run through. I don't think he is. He's looking good, but not enough to be able to pull it back.
No, Anytone's big mistake was actually on the approach to a corner, approach to turn 1. You don't often see it, but you see them using that extra bit of tarmac to get a better sweep through turn 1, and Anytone just used a bit too much. As a result, picks up that 3-second penalty, and now he's got a lot to do. And when I say a lot, I mean a huge amount. He's got to burn so much to stay on the back of Martin G and to try and get in front of him. I think it might be a little too much to ask.
Oh, Mizzo and Brownie there in contact. Oh, that was almost a problem there. Mizzo went for a gap down the inside that just didn't exist. Brownie held his line. There was no reason for him to move at all, and Mizzo, just a little touch there between him and Brownie, and Mizzo was the one who lost out more than anything, and ultimately that was all down to him in the first place anyway. So this is all about for P12. This is not points position. That 3-second time penalty will pretty much cement the fact that he's not going to get in that position out unless Brownie has penalties as well, which I don't think he does. But Yoltek, there you go. There's another one. He is closing in on this battle for P10, but that 3-second time penalty means he's going to lose out there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him. He was looking in a good place to get some points today, and I think he's going to come away with absolutely nothing unless someone has a big accident and retires. But still, some battles starting to hang around. Anytone is still on the back of Martin G. Don't get me wrong, Martin G could still pick up a penalty, and that would change everything. They've probably all had several warnings. They're probably all on their last warning by now. I think we might see one. You never know.
We might. Nickton is trying to now attack, but I think he's left it a little bit too late for this, because the second he gets past Martin G, he's going to be in a pretty bad scenario altogether. The fuel is not going to be very much favoured towards Nickton. and it's something he doesn't really account for is these penalties, even though he should, because he gets these quite often. It's now the opportunity for Nickton. DRS wing wide open. He's already in mode 4 as well. This is going to be Nickton going in towards Martin G on turn 1, but it's looking like Martin's going to hold the inside. This means that Nickton has no other choice but to stay around him on the outside there. It's going to be very tight through turn 2, but somehow Nickton is ahead for now because Martin G gets the inside through turn 3, and that gives him such a better run, but he might see him going towards turn 4. Are we going to see a dive down the inside? He's looking for the cutback, but Martin G knows it. He read that situation perfectly. He closed the inside, says, nope, not today at Nickton. Thank you for your time penalty earlier. You've made it so all I have to do is hold you back, and you're in trouble.
Yeah, and he might even lose the place to Bommels. Bommels is half a second now away from taking the place off Ettington, assuming Bommels doesn't pick up any penalties. And if these guys keep battling, Bommels might actually end up with the race lead.
Oh.
Ettington around the outside. No. Yes. No. Yes.
It's
yes.
so tight. He's done it.
Is a yes. He's made it.
He's done it for now, though. He's done it in the wrong place of the track. Because now he's set himself up in an area where he's already had bad exits anyway. Martin G gets a much tighter one. You can see it. Nickton again just cut that corner so severely. And this has actually put Martin G back on the attack now. Mode 5. He's already going to get him before we even get past the end of the pit lane. He's already done and dusted. Nickton is so far back, he can't even look to go back on a cutback. It's now just reset stations. The one thing that is in at Nickton's favour is Martin G is severely low on ERS.
One thing that's not in his favour, though, is the man in third place.
Yeah.
2.7 seconds after their little squabble. Bommels doesn't need to do much, really. He just needs to stay there. Let these guys scrap it. What's going to happen is either they're going to finish as they are, one of them's going to get damaged and end up having to fall back, or they're going to come off, or Martin G's going to pick up penalties. It's going to be in Bommels' favour just to sit there. Doesn't need to take any risks. He knows these guys are fighting. Just be there and pick up the scraps when it comes to it.
Yeah, and he's actually now in the back of the shot. For a while, we've not seen him sort of involved in that scenario altogether, and it's actually starting to happen. There's also a battle going on for P8 at the minute. Hazard has brought himself just inside the DRS range of Meister. Nothing's going to happen as of yet, but it's a very touch-and-go sort of situation for them. And Nickton on the back of Martin G again cuts that corner so severely. He doesn't have the drive out of the corner that he needed. He's going to have DRS. He's going to be able to really close up here, but I think they're going to be going side by side in towards turn 1.
He's in mode 2. He's not going to be anywhere near.
Oh, I thought he was going to run into the back of him there for a second.
These guys are good. They know what they're doing. Ettington keeps making mistakes at that final chicane. He just goes too deep into turn 14, and this actually then has to cut turn 15. And
Yeah.
He's done it twice in the last 2 laps, I think. And I think next time he does it, he's going to be hit with a penalty. And that's going to really ruin any chance he's got of taking the race win. He will still hold on to the podium unless Yonti has something magic in his car.
Yeah.
It's going to be something seriously magic, though.
Just a tad, yeah. I mean, that's a full 10 seconds is the gap between Nickton and Yonti right now. And Nickton, again, on the back of Martin G. This is not going to be anything just yet. But remember, if you watch the way he goes through the final chicane, it's like he's trying to carry so much pace through it, purely because he knows of how important the exit is of that corner. But what he doesn't realise is the way that he's taken it is actually far slower than he needs it to be. Look, he cuts it again just so severely. I don't know how he's getting away with it.
I don't know either. He must be racking up the warnings. He's done it 3 times out of 3 laps. It's not working for him. He's in mode 4 again. Is he going to have a shot on Master Your Mind? Goes defensive. Ettington just tries to taste the outside. Has to go nowhere. Nowhere for him to go now. Master holding on for the race win. We've got 1 lap and a few corners left.
Yeah, not long to go. And this battle for P8 is only extended actually to 4 cars now. So Meister, Hazard, Rainbow and Yoltech all within attacking range, although Rainbow's now just stepped outside of it, but that's because Yoltech is on the back of Rainbow. He's got the DRS. He actually gives him the flick there. That's the McLaren flick. You're in the wrong car for that one, but he pulls it off nonetheless. Gets himself up into P10. And now he's going to be setting his sights on Hazard. Hazard is also setting his sights on Meister. This gap is closing in pretty rapidly as Hazard has made a mistake there, runs wide, but Meister also didn't get the best line through that corner at all. And Hazard trying to bring himself closer to the Alfa Romeo, and it's just not working out for him right now. And we have to keep our eyes in two locations as Martin G is also under attack, and we're coming through the final sector again, almost in a position where we might see more problems here for Ed Nickton if he cuts that corner just too severely, but he's done it perfectly. The back marker will be in aid of Martin G as he will get the slipstream, or albeit just a touch. But this is 4.8 tenths being the gap between the two. Ed Nickton really charging now. He's going to be trying to take the outside line. Martin G held it. This is the final lap, remember. This is crucial. Martin G cannot afford to make a mistake. He cannot afford to give him the inside line through turn 3, and he has. That's Ed Nickton now into race lead. But remember, the 3-second time penalty that Ed Nickton is holding on to. This is now Martin G to hold on to this for the race win, and Ed Nickton needs to find magic level of pace.
If I was Martin G, I would just stay where you are. Don't try and make a pass. You know Editon, hopefully you know Editon's got that 3-second penalty. Let him go. Keep him within the 3 seconds, but don't try and fight it. Editon's making mistakes there. There's a little wobble coming off turn 8, sorry. That could have been curses for him. And Editon is getting a bit of slipstream then from Shadows and Dust. Well, it's an AI, so he doesn't gain anything. It's crucial that he gets past this car. Won't ghost for him. And Shadows and Dust is currently disconnected.
Oh, Hazard! No, things have just gone terribly wrong for Hazard. He has gone off. That's in turn 4, but we need to quickly go back up to the race leaders as they come through the final 2 corners. And Nickton will be crossing the line in first place, but he will lose that place to Martin G and Buemels. Martin and Nickton will fall to P2, and there's Buemels. So now, Martin G in first place, Buemels in second place, and Nickton takes third. And that is your constructor's prediction bang on the nose, but and Nickton instead of copy.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm quite happy I got 1-2. Doesn't often happen, and I'll take that.
For the first time, though, we've actually seen a good finishing position for Just Chillin'. I think, that's the best finish I've seen him get in a long time. I've not seen him really get anything super fantastic, but it's how it panned out. And for the first time as well, Hazard making mistakes, and you, sir, are going to have to eat your words. But I do actually have to ask you, before we go any further, who's driver of the day?
It's got to be Martin G. We're all sitting there going, he's never going to win this race. He's never going to win this race. Editon's got so much more ARS. Editon has a 3-second penalty.
Yeah.
Martin G's the winner.
If
the moment that penalty came up, it was a slam dunk for Martin G to win.
Yeah.
No two ways about it.
Absolutely, I'm with you completely. Martin G deserves driver of the day. He held in there perfectly, completely managed his nerves, completely managed the car. The other thing he didn't manage to do well, and I've critiqued it a lot, is his ERS levels, but everything else was absolutely perfect, and that is why he is taking the top step today. That is Martin G getting that trophy handed over to him. He's going to be very happy with his performance overall, and in a second he's going to get that champagne spray out that he deserves. There it is. Buemels joining him as well. I think that's the first time we've seen Buemels deliver such an exception. He came out of nowhere as well. He was so far back for quite a while, and then all of a sudden he's on the back of Nickton, and then I'll say he doesn't have to do anything else. He's just managed that gap throughout, managed to jump him on the step. He's now P2, and here is the rundown at the end of that Grand Prix. Martin G takes the race win from third place and driver of the day to go with it too. Buemels takes P2 with Nickton in P3 as a result of that penalty received earlier on for corner cutting. Yonti takes 4th with Yon in 5th. Copy takes 6th with Just Chillin' in 7th. Meister takes 8th. Yotek takes 9th. And Rainbow closes out the top 10. Hazard gets the best of the rest. He's had a very dramatic race overall. Mizzo is in 12th place with Brownie in 13th. Gooby 14th. Shadows and Dust and Beaker, Fossetti and Zerd all DNF'd from the race. Well, that is it for the Rwagnation League. Thank you everybody who tuned in. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you, MCAS, for commentating with me as always.